Again, my apologies, my mic was not on. It is now 3:01. The meeting was called to order at 3, but we weren't recording it. Items to be addressed today are zoning bylaw 2.1, zoning bylaw amendment, La Course, file ZB 2306.2. This public meeting is held under section 34 of the Planning Act is declared open. The application on the public meeting agenda today is for public consultation purposes only, and will be addressed by future council in a future council meeting. At this time, I will ask staff, please confirm that the required notice was given for the subject application in accordance with the requirements of the Planning Act.
I can confirm that the required notice for the application on the agenda was given in accordance with the requirements of the Planning Act.
Thank you very much. Well, this part might seem silly, but all those present at the public meeting today, as we have none, will have the opportunity to speak in favor of the opposition of the application. Any or all comments, information submitted, whether orally or in writing, including identification information, becomes part of public record and could be made publicly available at any point, including on town website, other electronic formats of publication in accordance with the Planning Act requirements. Any persons wishing to receive notice of decision regarding the application being considered must send an email request to the township office immediately following this meeting, and in all cases must be received prior to the date of decision of Township Council on this matter. Pursuant to the provision of the Planning Act, the rights and limitations of appeal to the Ontario Land Tribunal with respect to the decision of council on this application are as follows. A person or public body may file an appeal with the Ontario Land Tribunal, OLT, within 20 days of issuance of notice of the decision. The person or public body must submit the required form of appeal to the township, which shall include required information and explanation for the reason of the objection to the decision. In addition to paying the required fee, paying the required fees set out by the Ontario Land Tribunal. If a person or public body does not make oral submission at a public meeting or make written statements to the township in respect to the application before the approved authority passes or refuses to pass the proposed amendments, the person or public body may not be added as a party of the hearing of the appeal before the Ontario Land Tribunal unless, in the opinion of the land and the tribunal, there is reasonable grounds to do so. At this time, I will ask staff to please describe the purpose and effect of the proposed zoning bylaw amendment related to file ZB 2306.2, submitted by Adam Kaspraske, Surveying Company, Surveying Limited, on behalf of J. La Course Carpentry and Sons, and summarize in any written comments received. Planner, can you please advise us?
Thank you. So the first and only item on today's agenda is file number ZB 2306.2, which has been submitted by Adam Kasperzak Surveying Ltd. on behalf of J. La Course Carpentry and Sons, which is a zoning bylaw amendment application. It's a relatively straightforward zoning amendment. It pertains to lands known municipally as Part Lot 9, Concession 3, located in the geographic township of Griffith and are adjacent to Highway 41. Approximately 1.1 hectares, so about 2.71 acres, are subject to the rezoning. It's a small portion of the subject lands, with the applicant retaining approximately 62 acres. The purpose and reason for the rezoning is required is that it's a condition of consent approval, having file number B13222, which is an application for a lot line adjustment with the County of Renfrew. The lands that are being severed and added to Highway 25937 Highway 41, which is known as the Griffith Building Supply, they are presently zoned rural under our township zoning bylaw, and the condition is that the newly added lands have to be rezoned to reflect the zoning of the lands that are being added to, which is essentially highway commercial. And that's about it. And we've also received no written comments related to the application. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does the applicant, we have nobody on Zoom, but does the applicant or their representative wish to speak in regards to this application? Seeing no one here today or anybody on Zoom, we can assume that's a no. Does anyone wish to speak in favor of the amendment? Once again, we have nobody in council chambers today or on Zoom, so we shall take that as a no. Does anyone wish to speak in opposition to the amendment? Once again, we have nobody in council chambers and nobody on Zoom, so we'll take that as a no. Are there any questions from members of council? Councillor Thompson.
Were there any issues with change of use to do with water or streams, or was there anything complicated about this that we don't know about?
Thank you. And through you, no, the county didn't identify any studies related to the application. It's just a straightforward zone change. Essentially now as it stands, because it's essentially the lumber yard that's being added to the Griffith Building Supply, it's also permitted under the residential or under the rural zone. So they're essentially just expanding on the land. So whether or not it remains rural or if it's added to the highway commercial, it's still essentially a permitted use. But no, the county didn't identify any supporting studies that were required. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from council members? None seen. This therefore completes the public meeting process. Council will give careful consideration to the comments received, if any, on the application before it. If there are no further comments or questions, I would declare this public meeting closed at 3:08 p.m. Thank you. Please let us know when we're off camera.